Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Super Savory Sandwiches, or SQ, to help you save time. Now the first sandwich we'll be preparing is the cutting corned beef. All of our sandwiches will have pun-based names, and if you can guess this one by day's end, well, good for you. Now the first ingredient we have is the corned beef. Now, corned beef is usually associated with St. Paddy's Day and the Irish, but actually it originates from Britain, back when the salt crystals pureed the meat, which in a sense gets its term. But corned beef actually was used by the Irish when they came over to this country as a substitute for bacon. But there is no real substitute for bacon, is there? Now, the next ingredient we have is Worrier cheese. Now, Gruyere was invented in several locations in Switzerland, but the town of Gruyere is where this cheese gets its name from. Now, Gruyere is a harder cheese, like your Asiagos and your Parmesan. Now, just spread that around there, sprinkle. This can be appreciated in multiple ways, sliced, cubed, but for the sake of our sandwiches, we're just going to do shredded. Now, the next ingredient, and arguably most important, is caramelized onions. And no, it has nothing to do with caramel. Now, it's called caramelized onions because, like carrots, turnips, and other root vegetables, onions store simple sugars in the base of their fruit or vegetable, such as it is. And when we cook them in olive oil and butter and sugar, but that's just optional, I like to use sugar, brings out the sweetness. It helps break down these sugars to something a little more sweet. Now we're just going to pour all that on there. Keep in mind, when you are cooking these onions, it's very imperative to use a low flame, otherwise you get burnt onions. Now, our next ingredient would be dill pickles. Pickles have a funny origin story because they came back to 2030, all the way in India, back when there were cucumbers in India. But the term pickle comes from both Dutch and German words, meaning to brine or to salt, which is very imperative for making pickles. Just spread them all around there. Make sure no to one area is too pickly, if that's a word. Now our final ingredient is Thousand Island dressing. Now this little beauty was made in the good old US of A, when a fisherman's wife would make condiments for his dinner. But the actress May Irwin loved it so much, she asked for the recipe. And that's how we have the Thousand Island that we all know, love, and love. Now I'm going to put this bad boy, seems like everything's falling apart, right here. Make sure everything presses down. And we're going to use our good old bread knife to slice it in half. And we're going to show you the inside of this beauty. It does not look tasty, but looks are only superficial. I think it's this point where we actually take a bite of this sandwich. Oh, messy here. That's a good sandwich. Now, those of you able to guess it, off to you. But those of you that are not, that's okay, because I'm going to tell you what it is. The term cutting corned beef is a pun on cutting corners, which is essentially what we did today. Because I know this is similar to a Reuben, and it is, but I thought I'd mix it up a bit. Instead of Swiss, I added Gruyere, but to be fair, that's a type of Swiss. Instead of sauerkraut, I used the caramelized onions and dill pickles. And I didn't use rye, but instead, a simple white bread. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to stay updated on our further sandwiches, and happy Labor Day to you all.